This is Frank Islam, Chairman and CEO of FY Investment Group and your host of Washington Current Review, where we interview leading voices from business, from politics, and other places as well, so that impact you, the viewer. Today, our guest is Saif Khan. Saif, nice to have you come to our show. Appreciated that very much.
Thank you so much, Frank. Thanks for having me.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. Where you went to graduate school, went to undergraduate school, and you have a law degree from George Washington. Do you practice law? Tell me all about it.
So I was born in India, in Mysore, India. I moved. My family moved to the United States in 1993.
Okay.
And we settled down in Richmond, Virginia.
Right.
And I went to university there at Virginia Commonwealth University. I actually joined the military right after graduating from high school and the National Guard. And then after serving in the military, finishing up, I ended up in Washington, D.C. And I attended George Washington University Law School, from where I recently graduated.
So you're going to practice law?
With a JD, yes, pending bar passage. I plan on practicing law.
So Saif, you serve in the Army. So
Yes.
and you also serve in Iraq. And thank you very much for serving our country.
Thank you.
And advancing America's leadership in the world. So the question that I have for you, and I never served, and you served, and thank you very much for doing so. How was your experience as an Indian American and a Muslim American who served in Iraq War?
It was different. I joined the military right after graduating from high school. I wanted to serve the United States. I always wanted to be a part of the military ever since I was a young kid. I used to watch movies, military movies, and I decided to join right after high school. And
so you were in active combat?
I was, when I was deployed to Iraq. So I initially joined as a part of the National Guard in Virginia.
Okay.
And then my unit was activated for several state emergencies. But when the Iraq War started, the president decided to activate a lot of the National Guard units, and mine was one of the units. So we were sent to Iraq.
What part of Iraq did you go to?
So we went to Mosul, Iraq.
Okay.
This is where we were.
Nice.
And I was in combat. So my job was to support the people that were defusing bombs, the EOD team. So we would, anytime there was a call that there was a suspicious bomb or any activity that my unit would be deployed to go check it out, and we would provide security for the bomb squad who would go in and defuse these roadside bombs.
That's a pretty challenging work.
It was really challenging. There were supply convoys coming in from Kuwait, going all the way.
So some of your friends also got shot?
Yeah, we were engaged in combat. Unfortunately, in my unit, we actually lost a few people as well.
I'm so sorry.
And there were quite a few close calls. So, it was tough work, but. But
it was rewarding.
It was.
How did your life change after you served?
We serve the country. We serve under the orders of the president. I have my personal views about the Iraq War and being there.
But you did what you were told by your commander-in-chief.
Exactly. So when you join the military, you follow orders. You take orders from the commander-in-chief, and that is why it is so important that we have a commander-in-chief in place that it's going to take into account all aspects of the situation before sending in the troops into combat.
So you also serve on the American Veterans Committee. I know you're very active also. So what's your role? What do you do for that organization?
When I was serving in Iraq, I had the opportunity to meet several soldiers and airmen and from different branches of the military from other countries that were part of the coalition. So when I was returning back to the U.S., I wanted to stay in touch with all of them. Unfortunately, there was no organization that connected everybody from different countries, from different military branches and services. So I wanted to launch my own organization called American Veterans Committee to connect veterans from around the world. So I did that in 2013, and I wanted to make sure.
So how many people do you have in that committee?
So right now we have about 2,000 members, and
that's
we're growing
fairly
fast.
large.
So we're
It's all over the world or all over the United States?
I launched it in the U.S. and then I wanted to take it global. So we joined an umbrella organization called the World Veterans Federation that includes veterans organizations from all the different countries in the world.
Wow.
So now we're part of the World Veterans Federation, and in fact, just last month we hosted the president of the World Veterans Federation here in Washington, D.C., and he has appointed me to serve as the chairman of the Committee of the Americas to represent all the various different veterans organizations that are part of the World Veterans Federation from North, South, and Central America, and represent all of them at the World Veterans Federation. So I'm also serving as his VP for the World Veterans Federation. Now this is an organization that has consultative status with the United Nations as well.
Well, sounds like a fun, right?
It's a good organization.
Now, you also, if I remember correctly, you told me that you have another business called Khan Connection. You also have iPhone app. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about your business and why did you start and where are you with this business?
So I launched Connections in 2011, and I did so because I had a few veterans who were seeking, veteran friends who were seeking positions, and they needed help. They needed somebody who's a middleman to connect them with the position. So I decided to launch my own executive search firm. That's how.
So that's what Khan Connection is all about.
Initially, it's
obviously you charge.
Yeah. So I wanted to charge companies that were seeking to hire to
the veterans,
connect them with the right people, because all these companies were hiring, but they were unable to find the right talent. And I knew all these veterans who were looking for positions, so there was a disconnect. So we thought we could step into that role and connect veterans. So we were successful. We connected a few veterans, but eventually I wanted to expand and launch into the IT world, into information technology and apps and customized software development, which is what we did. So we moved on from executive search, although we still do that as part of our core competencies and services we provide. But we recently launched a new app called the Connections Business Card Scanner and Auto Follow-Up. What this app does is people who are extremely busy and go to a lot of networking receptions, you have this habit of getting business cards and accumulating the business cards.
You're right.
So what this app does is it allows you to take a picture of your business card that you get from a new contact, and it extracts your name, email address, and phone number from the card itself and adds it to your contact list. But the best part about this app is it generates an automated email follow-up to this person by already taking their name and email address from the business card
so you get connected
earlier.
Oh,
right.
You want, yeah,
and it has this automated email saying, "Nice to meet you." So all you have to do is click send. All the information is already generated
That's
for you.
That's pretty cool.
And it tells you exactly where you met the person, because it makes you enter. For example, if I met you here, I enter this location and your name and your email address. So I never forget where I met you because you're meeting so many people.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. So in addition to serving in the war, Iraq, then in addition to having this Khan Connections and and also the app, you also involved politically.
Yes.
So why are you engaged and involved politically, and also you support Hillary Clinton for the President of the United States?
You know, when I was serving in the military, I saw problems that soldiers were having. For example, when we were serving, I thought we didn't have the best equipment possible to protect ourselves. And the only way to fix issues like that, I learned, was to engage your political leaders.
So you want to be active
leaders.
Participate in the political process.
Right. So when I came back, I really decided to get engaged politically. I was a pre-med biology major, before I left to go to Iraq. And as the rest of my other Indian American friends, I was probably going to go to med school and then proceed on to other stuff. But I really changed when I came back. It changed my life after serving in the military. So I changed my major.
You had a different perspective.
Exactly. So I changed my major to political science, pre-law, when I came back, and I started to intern with Senator Jim Webb in Virginia.
From Virginia.
Right, former Senator Jim Webb, and This was a time when the senator was working on the Montgomery GI Bill, post 9/11 GI Bill, and so I had a chance to weigh in on the issues that some of the veterans were having as I was using the post 9/11 or the previous GI Bill, and so when he passed the GI Bill that thousands of veterans use today, there's a lot of changes in there that benefit veterans. So I decided to then go work for the Clinton campaign, and I served as the Deputy Veterans Director there. So my job was to reach out to veterans and military families and highlight Hillary Clinton's policies that she had proposed. So I had a chance to travel around the country and meet veterans and talk about why I believe Hillary Clinton was the
best candidate.
Right.
Very good. And you also, if I remember correctly, you're part of the Rules Committee for the Democratic National Committee for DNC.
Yes.
And you're going to be going to the convention which is in
Philadelphia.
Yes. So what does the Rule Committee do? And tell me a little bit about that, what your role there.
Right. So Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz is also the chairwoman of the DNC, appointed me to serve on this Rules Committee for the National Convention. There's about 30 other people serving on the Rules Committee.
What does the Rules Committee do?
So the Rules Committee, they make the rules for the convention.
Okay.
They appoint the leaders of the convention and make sure everything is in order as far as convention rules and points of order. So I'm looking forward to going there to Philadelphia. We are having our first meeting on the 23rd of July, which is a Saturday. So we have to go there a little bit early before the convention starts.
Right.
So yeah, this is a great honor as an Indian American. I'm one of the few Indian Americans serving on one of the standing committees. There are three committees.
Okay, that's a wonderful thing to do for you.
The Rules is a great committee.
So that's what you're going to be doing. You have accomplished a lot at a young age. What's your secret sauce of success?
I think it's just being down to earth and talking and networking with everyone and not being closed-minded. I think it's nice to kind of reach out to everyone, people who are different than you, people who are different religion, other races. So I like to be all-inclusive, and I'm a fighter for diversity anywhere and everywhere.
So that's your secret sauce for success?
I believe so. You have to
success in business is a team sport.
Yes, you have to be inclusive.
Yeah. Well, it's not you. Yes. You have to surround yourself with the smart people who share your vision and values.
And give everybody an equal opportunity.
Correct. So if someone is watching in the audience who looking at you, that you have achieved a lot in your, as far as you're concerned, in terms of a true American success story, what advice do you have for them? And especially a budding entrepreneur who just wants to get involved in business, just like you have, get a good education, be the best they can be, exploit their fullest potential. What advice do you have for them?
So meet everybody you can, and if they offer you help, make sure you take them up on that offer. If you have a chance to go to events, meet everybody, use all the tools that you may have available to you to network, follow up with people. Just getting business cards, which is what I used to do. I used to have a stack of business cards on my desk and failed to follow up. But I realized that I needed to start following up with people, and which is one reason I launched this app, to make things easier. So make sure, it's great to meet people, but you have to follow up with them, and you have to set up a follow-up meeting. So maybe you can have coffee with them and get to know them a little better. So get to know the contacts that you already have made, and keep that relationship open, so you can stay in touch with them and see how you guys
connect.
Can work together.
So I see the word you use, connect.
Yes.
You're an immigrant to this country.
Mm-hmm.
This country has been good to you.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And there are a lot of people in the audience who are watching. They are also immigrants. They aspire to realize, to attain and achieve American dream. What advice do you have for those immigrants?
So as an immigrant, it's you're you're different, you have to really
You're different?
assimilate. Of course.
I
yes.
guess you're different.
You have to assimilate. When you're an immigrant, you're
you're
coming
saying
to
you have
America.
to integrate into the society,
You
into
have
the
to,
fabric of
yes,
society.
right.
What else they have to do?
Then you have to really work hard to make sure that you are making the right contacts. You have to do well in school, of course.
So you get a good education. That's a good one.
Yeah. And you have to come up with a plan. Everybody has dreams, and you have to come up with a plan that how you're going to make your plan successful. And which is what I did. I thought my plan was very unrealistic of what I wanted to do, for my own company.
Have you been able to achieve your plan so far?
So far I have, and yes, and that is the advice I would give to your viewers: is come up with a plan and
execute the plan.
Go execute it and see how see how you want to go ahead and accomplish it, and what you need to do to accomplish it, step by step. So and then you can absolutely be successful. Once you have it on paper and come up with benchmarks and establish finally what you want to do.
So what you're saying, you put together the goal and make sure that you monitor that goal.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's what you're saying. So we all have to go. We have a short time on this planet of Earth. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We all will be gone from this planet.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, what's the legacy that you want to leave behind when you're gone from this planet?
So I think I want to, the legacy.
How would you like to be remembered?
So I think I want to help as many people as possible.
That's a good way to say that.
And
so you want to help others.
So I want to make sure that.
You want to create another Saif Khan?
Is
that the legacy that you leave behind?
So no matter how successful you are and regardless of how much money you make, you have to always give back to the community.
So giving
I think
back.
That's very important. And then also just doing good in the world, I think, is important. You have to
so
be.
So you do well, but you do good.
Yes.
That's the advice you have.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So do you have any future plan in terms of getting involved in the politics, running for office, anything like that?
So at the moment, I haven't thought about running for office, but
you want to serve our country, obviously.
I do, yeah.
In some other.
So I want to expand the nonprofit more that I'm running, American Veterans Committee, and of course we want to expand connections, and we want to launch more apps, and also as far as serving in an elected position. Right now, I've been appointed by Washington, D.C.'s mayor to advise on veterans issues. Mm-hmm. So I represent Ward 2 of Washington, D.C. So it's an appointed position. As far as veterans serving in elected positions, there's been a decline. And I want to make sure veterans issues are highlighted.
What are the issues they face, veterans, that you can relate to it, I cannot?
So there's the GI, post 9/11 GI Bill is great, but there's still some issues, with the current system we have, primarily with healthcare. Veterans have issues seeking care at the Department of Veterans Affairs hospitals. Appointment times are lacking. A report just came out yesterday.
What about the lack of
these
skills in order for them to become a effective part of the 21st century workforce?
So the post 9/11 GI Bill is helping with that.
So they're training them?
So the GI Bill provides funds for veterans to use if they wanted to go and take a training program
and also
school as well.
Also get a degree in order for them to become more productive.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So the Veterans Bill really has been the key ingredient of this success, but they must be able to use it effectively in order for them to advance their cause.
Absolutely, yes. I think there's tools out there for veterans to use, but the system, especially on the healthcare side, can be a whole lot better. And this is something that I am also advocating on the political side. So I serve on the National Steering Committee for Hillary Clinton's campaign.
Sure.
And as a part of that, I've been in the policy team. So I've been advocating for changes to the current system and see how we can make it better. So I believe Hillary Clinton's plan includes some of these proposed changes and how we can make the Department of Veterans Affairs operate more efficiently.
That's a good thing to do. Well, thank you very much, Saif,
thank you, Frank,
for your time
Yeah.
and also for what you do to serve our country. And thank you for what you have done in terms of serving our country during the war in Iraq.
Thank you for having me on your show. Really
Sure.
appreciate it.
So this is Frank Islam wishing you a great week, and thank you very much for watching.